Hey y'all, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this really pretty wrapped ribbon wreath that I had seen on Facebook. Now, the lady that made these on Facebook, her name is Kimberly. So Kimberly, if you're watching, hi. I hope you enjoy it. Stay tuned. I'll show you how to make it. All right, y'all, let us get started. And listen, I know somebody's going to say, why are you making Christmas wreaths? It's August. Today is August the 1st, and I'm going to be making a Christmas wreath. But if you craft for a living and if you sell things, Christmas themed things, you got to get started months and months and months ahead, okay? So that you can build things up for your stock. So I'm going to be throwing in some Christmas videos here and there. But anyway, this is a 14-inch wire wreath frame. I got this one at Dollar Tree. Now, the yarn that I'm going to be using, this is the Bernat blanket. I got this at Joann's. But if you can't find Bernat blanket, I want you to look on the label. This is a 7-weight yarn, okay? So when you're looking at your yarn, look at the label. This is going to tell you the size of hooks and knitting needles that you need to use. But look right here. You see this says Jumbo 7. That is the weight of the yarn. And as you can see, it is nice and fluffy. I've made wreaths before using the Bernat blanket. It's really easy to work with. For this wreath, you're going to need one skein of this yarn. You're also going to need some ribbon, and I have this Christmas ribbon. It's so pretty. I've got tons of Christmas stuff in here. This came from Walmart. This is 1.5 inches wide. This is a wired ribbon. For this, you do not have to use wired ribbon. This is just what I had on hand, and I hope I have enough to do this and to make a bow. But anyway, like I said, 1.5 inches, and then you're going to need your heavyweight yarn here. So anyway, let's cut this tag off. So basically what we're going to be doing is wrapping our wreath frame with the yarn, and you can get several wreaths out of one skein of yarn, okay? There's a lot of yarn on here. I'm trying to find the end. Here it is. Now let's see if our glue gun is hot, which it is. So I'm going to just take the end of the yarn like so, and I'm going to wrap it around. Now let's flip this over. And then I want to put some hot glue right here, and we are going to glue it down to hold it in place like so. And then we're just going to bend this over. Okay, and now before we go any further, you need to let this glue set up so that this does not come loose. Okay, so I believe the glue is set up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start wrapping this, and I cut off a good amount of yarn, and then I just rolled it into a ball. That's going to make it easier for you to work with. And then we're just going to start wrapping it around our frame. Now, you're going to wrap 4 times before we start adding our ribbon, okay? So wrap 4 times, like so. See, we got 4. So let's lay this down now, and let's get our ribbon, which I thought I had opened. Apparently, I didn't. Get off of me! This is clingy as my ex. Okay. So now, let's go ahead and trim the edge off of this, because it's a little jagged. Okay, so now this is going to be essentially the top of the wreath when we get done with it. This is where you're going to put your bow, so don't worry if this is not 100% perfect when you first get started. So you're just going to take a little bit of hot glue here, and we're going to glue the end of our ribbon down like so. This is going to hold it in place, okay? And then we're going to give this a minute to set up, okay? So now we're going to take our yarn. Let's get out of the way here. And now we're going to wrap it again around our frame, but you're going to wrap over the ribbon, and you're going to wrap 2 times, okay? So let's bring this around and try to keep this uniform. 1. You might need to scoot your yarn over. I said just take your time doing this. Oh, look, I got beads over here. I've got like 50,000 things going on this table at the same darn time. And then 2. I said just take your time. Just really make sure everything is together, okay? So you wrapped it around 4 times, put your ribbon down, and then wrap it 2 times around your ribbon, okay? Now, you're gonna wrap it 4 more times, but this time you're gonna go under the ribbon. So move your spool over here, okay? You're gonna go 1. And I have little bits of moss everywhere because I've got Halloween going on this table too. I got Christmas and Halloween and fall and all kinds of stuff. So this will be number 3. And then back around, this will be number 4. I thought I cleaned all this up. If y'all use this Spanish moss, y'all know what I'm talking about. Now flip your ribbon back over. Just hold it in place. And now wrap around 2 times to cover the ribbon. Just move it into place. Kind of flatten it down with your finger here. I've seen some of these and the ribbon puckers. So you just be careful so that your ribbon doesn't do that, okay? So just take your time. Move your ribbon as need be. If you need to cut the ribbon and reposition it to get it to flow smoothly, do whatever it is that you need to do, okay? All right. And now you're just going to wrap it 4 times. So that is 2 and 3 and 4. Now bring your ribbon back over. I just hit my chimes. Yes, I have chimes hanging in here. And then go back around your ribbon 2 times. 1 and 2. And you are just going to repeat this all the way around. Now, when I run out of yarn here, I'm just going to glue the end down like we did over here. And then I'll just start a new piece of yarn and just keep right on wrapping. Like I said, if your yarn, oh my goodness, if your ribbon starts to pucker up, just cut it and then reposition it and glue it back down. However you need to do it to make it look good, okay? But anyway, I'm going to finish this and I will be back. Okay, so I have worked my way back all the way around. Let's see what I have here. We'll come back. Here are my 4 rows here. I'm getting ready to wrap 2 more times. So I'm gonna, let's just trim our ribbon right here. And I think I'm just gonna put a little blob of glue right there just to kind of help hold it in place. I just put a new glue stick in. Aha! There's a little bit. All right. Like I said, I'm going to put a bow here. It's going to cover this up, so don't be too concerned if it is not 100% perfect right here. Trying to get it as close as possible. So let's just wrap that there. And then wrap that another time. Okay, you can see a little bit of that ribbon's jagged right there. So, okay, I can just tuck that under the yarn. There we go. So now let's flip this around. And now we're, whoa. Look at all these little moss particles everywhere. Goodness gracious. This stuff gets everywhere. Oh my gosh. I went in the Dollar Tree the other day and I had moss stuck to my pants. The people in my stores know me. My shirt is usually dirty. I've usually got glue or paint or something all over me because it's like I work on stuff and then I go to the store. Okay, I think that's set up just enough where I can trim that down. Okay, so let's take a look at this and make sure that I keep this. That's going to be at the top because I think I want my bow to be at the top of this. Okay, so I'm going to set this off to the side and let's get this ribbon and see if we can make a quick bow. I had to bring it back so I could measure the width of the ribbon for the bow. All right, so let's see. We can say that this is going to be, because when you make your bow, it's going to poof up a little bit, which is going to draw it in and it's not going to be as wide. So let's see. I want it about that wide, so let's just fold the ribbon right there. Come back, Jack, come back. All right, so now I'm going to cut that. And now I'm going to cut some more pieces of that same length. And this is just going to be one of my no-tie bows, where you just glue it together and don't have to worry about it. I think this is, whoa, about knocked my glue gun over again. This is like all of the ribbon that I have of this kind, so I better be careful. Okay, so let's cut this. All right, so I have 4. Let's get this out of the way and this out of the way. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're going to take this ribbon and I'm just going to glue it into a loop like so. Okay, we're just going to glue it into a loop. And then we're going to set this off to the side and let that glue harden up. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the other pieces of ribbon. Okay, so I have a long zip tie here, okay? So let's go ahead and get our zip tie started. You hear how it just clicked once or twice? You don't want to really tighten that down, okay? Because we're going to try to feed our ribbon through this here in a minute. All right, so let's get all of our loops here. This is the section that has been glued. So let's put that towards the back. Okay, like so. Let's see how I want to do this. And then we're just going to, in essence, layer our, we'll just kind of layer it like this. I think will be the best way. I make these bows a gazillion times, and you still have to stop and say, what am I doing? Okay, so now we're just going to take all of our loops. I cut 5 loops instead of 4. So make sure that they're kind of even here. As even as you can get them. Don't have to be 100% perfect. Whoa! Just feed this through there. Kind of put your zip tie towards the middle, and now we're going to start to tighten that down. Okay, well, let's see. Let's try to make sure that we get it to the center. Okay, and now I'm going to pull this, and then I'm just going to tighten it down. Let's cut this off. Okay, so now you're just going to take your loops and twist and fluff your bow however you want to fluff it. I'm not really concerned about it right now because I'm going to put a center in the middle of it, and then we still have to put on our tails and all that, so I'm not too concerned. But let's just fluff it a little bit to kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. And I will really work on this here in a minute. Like I said, I'm not too concerned about it right now. Okay, so now for the center here, let's cut. Do I really want tails on this? I don't think, or do I? I don't know. Let's see. We can cut a piece for our tail. Right here. Okay, we can dovetail the end. And I'm going to get another zip tie and wrap it around our bow. I mean, there's a gazillion different bow techniques out there. You do whichever one you like. I'm just going to fold it a little bit like so. Yeah, that looks good. Yeah. So let's thread one end through our zip tie. Come on, Amber. You see how I kind of put it at that bent part right there? And now you're just going to tighten that down. Okay, so for the center here, I just took a little piece of ribbon and I just glued around it. So then, now is when you're going to really take your time and just go back and just bend your ribbon here and just fluff everything out and actually make it look like a bow, okay? And I usually take a few minutes to do that, so I'm not going to record me doing the whole daggone thing, because sometimes I like to wait till I get it on the wreath, because then that works a little bit better. All right, so let's get some greenery. Okay, so now I have some greenery, and I thought that this would go really well with this ribbon, because see how these are red and sparkly? This is red and sparkly, and it also has pine cones. This came from Joann's last year, okay? But, they pretty much carry the same looking stuff all the time. So let's take this off, and I don't have any floral wire. If you don't have any floral wire, you can use zip ties to attach stuff like this. Or you can use hot glue, whatever you want to do. All right, so let's move this out of the way. Okay, so I want this to be the top, and I'm just going to lay this wherever I want it. And thank goodness this is wired, so you can bend these however you want. But let's get the bow. Like I said, the bow is raggedy right now. I haven't fluffed it out. And then let's see how that will lay with the bow. So now the only thing left to do is you just lay down your greenery or whatever attachments that you have, hot glue it on, wire it on. You can use zip ties to fasten it down. Let's see, that looks okay right there. So let's bend this, kind of take the shape of the wreath. And see, you can just zip tie it down, and these are clear. It will blend in really nicely with the wreath. You're not really going to see it. And the bow is going to cover up any little nubbies that you might have sticking out, because you don't want your nubbies showing. Okay. See how I attached that? And then you can just bend this down, and then the bow is going to cover it. So I'm going to finish attaching these, then we'll attach the bow. Okay, so this is what I have here. And now for my bow, I'm just going to glue it down. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So let's get this. And then once the glue has set up, then I'm really going to go back and I will fluff the bow out, try to make it look a little bit better. And then that'll be that. Okay, but you can wire your bow on if you want to, however you want to attach it. Okay. Stick this right here. Now, this is why sometimes it's difficult for me to do wreaths on camera, because I like to tip it up because I'm holding it kind of in my lap. All right. So anyway, if you want to create a hanger for this, you can use a piece of wire, run it through a loop of the yarn on the back, just fasten it that way, or you can take a piece of this yarn and, like I said, on the back, just run it through a few of the loops. Just run it through a few of the loops on the back here, and then tie a knot in it. You know, you spin that knot around, and then that is going to give you a loop that you can use to hang it. So, you know, however you want to do yours. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you would, please give it a thumbs up, click subscribe. Check me out on other forms of social media, the links to all of which will be in the description box down below. And I will talk to y'all next time. Bye.